The rain began without warning, soft at first, then heavier, as if the city itself had decided to confess something it had been holding in for years. In the middle of that quiet storm stood Arav, frozen on the sidewalk, watching Lena walk away from him for the third time in 2 years. Every goodbye between them had sounded final, yet none of them ever truly were. As her silhouette blurred behind the curtain of rain, one thought echoed in his mind with painful clarity: some love stories do not end because love disappears, they end because fear speaks louder than the heart. Arav and Lena had met on an ordinary evening that felt extraordinary only in hindsight. A small rooftop cafe, warm light swaying in the breeze, and music drifting softly through the air. They were strangers seated at neighboring tables, exchanging nothing more than polite smiles at first. But when the song changed to a slow, intimate melody, something shifted. Arav noticed how Lena closed her eyes as if the music was speaking directly to her soul. Lena noticed how Arav tapped his fingers against the table, lost in the rhythm. That night ended with a conversation that lasted until the cafe closed, and a feeling neither of them could explain but both of them deeply understood. Their connection grew in quiet moments rather than grand gestures. Late-night walks where words felt unnecessary. Shared earphones on bus rides, listening to songs that slowly became theirs. Stolen glances that carried more meaning than any confession. But beneath the sweetness lived fear. Arav had loved before and lost painfully, learning to protect his heart by keeping parts of himself hidden. Lena, shaped by a past where promises were broken easily, believed love was beautiful but fragile, something that could slip away the moment you trusted it fully. The first challenge arrived silently. Arav began holding back, choosing silence instead of honesty whenever his fears surfaced. Lena felt it immediately. She sensed the distance in his pauses, the way his smile faded too quickly when conversations turned serious. She wanted reassurance, not perfection. Arav wanted certainty before he offered his heart. The unspoken gap between them widened until one night Lena finally asked the question she had been carrying for weeks. "Where is this going?" Arav had no answer, only confusion and fear. Lena left that night with tears she refused to let him see. Time passed, but neither of them truly moved on. Arav poured himself into work, convincing himself that success could fill the emptiness. Lena tried dating again, smiling through conversations that felt hollow. Music became their refuge. Each song reminded them of what they had lost, and every slow melody felt like a message they were too afraid to send. When fate brought them back together months later at a friend's gathering, the air between them was heavy with things left unsaid. They tried again, cautiously this time. The second challenge was timing. Lena was offered an opportunity in another city, a chance she had worked hard for. Arav was finally building stability where he was. Love asked them to choose, but fear whispered that compromise meant sacrifice. Arguments followed, not loud and dramatic, but quiet and painful. The kind where both people are hurting but neither knows how to fix it. Once again, they let go, telling themselves it was the mature thing to do. The third and hardest challenge was realizing that love does not survive on feelings alone. It needs courage. It needs vulnerability. It needs two people willing to face their fears together instead of running from them alone. This realization came to Arav on a night when a familiar song played unexpectedly, slow and tender, echoing through an empty room. He finally understood that waiting for the perfect moment had cost him the person who mattered most. Lena, meanwhile, stood on a balcony in a new city, watching unfamiliar lights flicker below. She had achieved her dream, yet her heart felt unfinished. She realized that strength was not walking away from love to protect herself, but staying and fighting for it even when it scared her. For the first time, both of them reached the same conclusion separately but at the same time. When Arav found Lena again, there were no dramatic speeches, no promises of perfection. Just honesty. He told her he was scared, but more scared of losing her. Lena admitted she needed reassurance, but was ready to be patient if he was willing to try. They stood close, the space between them charged with everything they had been holding back. The kiss they shared was slow, not rushed by passion, but guided by understanding. It was a promise without words, saying we choose each other, even when it is hard. Their love did not suddenly become perfect. They still argued. They still doubted. But now, they faced challenges together. They learned that love grows strongest when it is given time, when hearts are allowed to open at their own pace. They learned that sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say to someone is stay, I am not going anywhere. In the end, their story was not about dramatic romance or flawless happiness. It was about choosing patience in a world that rushes everything. About kissing slow in a life that moves too fast. And about understanding that real love is not found in perfect moments, but built in imperfect ones, when two people decide that fear will no longer control their hearts.